Okay, this is M5, Volume 4, Enforcing Sequentialism on Earth, on 17 November 2007.
Flushing out those who do not conform is a major concern to those sequentializing Earth at this time. This is not only happening on government levels, but also on all levels of interactive life. On the government level, the misuse of the word terrorist for anyone who doesn't conform has become routine. In the past, it was a seldom used word. The word itself is fear-based terror. The sequentials have discovered that using fear will get the body aided to do just about anything, including spying for them on neighbors, surrendering their individual liberties, and taking every proclamation from the capital city as truth. This is pure giving away of one's power to false deities. Now you find bushlings and other fascists on television pointing fingers at independent minds for being terrorists. Roll your eyes. On personal levels, pseudo-authority figures relish wielding their status like an overseer of slaves. Something that gets me is that these pseudo-authority figures owe their jobs to the people they try to rule. The doctor-dentist who tells you what you should be doing. This is generously laced with fear and drama, guaranteed to have the body aided obey. The level of fear drama is based on the amount of resistance that the patient gives. If you pay to obey, the fear is minimal. However, the more you resist them, the higher the drama level becomes. This is a test of one's body versus spirit ID. Just stick to what is best for your current incarnation, no matter what that may be. This pseudo-authority can be found everywhere where someone demands you to surrender your control and, more importantly, your individuality to the docile nature of the whole sequentialism. It seems to me that those who work for the NH Post Office are the most dour, over-serious type of bushlings in the state. Americans know the mantra question we get asked by the clerk at the window when we need to get something mailed. Does this contain anything fragile, perishable, potentially hazardous, etc.? I can see them asking that if you bring the box and they want to push insurance, but a flat envelope? Yet, when I asked, at my former state post office, why do you ask that about an envelope, I got the, how dare you be rational, look. He didn't respond except to repeat the mantra like a robot. Since then, rather than get into a no-win discussion with minions or sequentials, I now answer, not today. They don't like that at all, but are hard-pressed to counter it, although they've tried. What about tomorrow? I come back with, I don't know what I'll be mailing tomorrow and if it will be fragile. Do you? Try, not today, on the clerk next time you're asked that nonsense question. It answers their question, but in a different, non-sequential way that usually disturbs them. I have been using that here in NH even to the sour, robotic, bushlings. I don't care if they don't like it. I usually get a laugh from the others in line, much to the minion clerk's displeasure. I thought I'd be humorous the other day. When this sequential, bushling cunt asked me the question, I said, not today. I couldn't fit the stemware in that small envelope. The cunt became livid, telling me, this is not a joke, and, do you want to mail this? I told her I was adding humor, and I did answer by saying, not today. This is the abbreviated story. She knew I had her there. If she pulls this shit on me again, I will file a complaint. I am a paying customer and she is the employee who must maintain a diplomatic manner with the public. Cunt. Another NH clerk said to me last month that someone could be mailing anthrax in an envelope. I replied, if so, they certainly were not going to admit it when asked the dumb question. Not only that, it wouldn't have a return address on it, nor would the person come to have it weighed. Spare me from mindless government toadies. Even something as seemingly innocent as one of several online games ruled by mini-royals known as game masters. Here one is paying to enjoy an online game. An issue develops that you submit and one of their game masters shows up, not to address your question as an individual, but to see if you conform or you report someone who doesn't conform. I had one of these assholes give me a smart-ass answer to a complaint I had about another player cheating. When I had the gall to call this conform warden on being a smart-ass to a paying customer, she turned it to be an issue of me not conforming. These online games are a lot of fun as long as no issue pops up that is unsettling to them. Although this is a minor, recreational area one may choose to experience, the sequentialization process is being enforced here as well. What you say, how you interact, etc. We are in control of what you say, do. What you think is irrelevant. What we demand, despite what you pay, is all that matters. That's corporate sequentialism, fascism. You should easily be able to think of several other areas in your own life where sequentialism is operating. Areas where giving up one's individuality and expression is demanded and suppressed. Where, don't say do anything that will challenge, upset the way we want things to be. Sequentialism is the icon. The article on Rents about Australian Santas being told not to say ho, ho, ho because it may offend females, since ho is a slang word for horror in some areas of the world. What bullshit. Ho, ho, ho. Triple hose. If no one is offended, no one progresses because their mind is seduced into complacency. And offending females is such a farce when Orionized females seem to live to offend males. Ho, ho, ho. I saw a commercial for a show on television where 3 Orionized cunts sat around bitching that men are sexist. Where do you see a group of men sitting around complaining that females are sexist? Exactly. The use of the word sexist is an Oriwanized sequential, verbal weapon to use fear of nonconformity and submission of non-Oriwanized, simultaneous path males. One has to be a sexist to accuse others of being so. There are so many tag words used that are intended to make one conform to a sequential pattern. Give your power over to them and then you will be spared. Unfortunately, many will and do eagerly. Those, for whom M5 is written, know that graduation will be our only true release from this madhouse game. Those who live to conform are going to continue to do so until they wake up to the manipulation. We pre-graduates will be long gone while they play their sequential games. Learning what the sequential games are is one part of one's awakening. You can't progress unless you know what your spiritual enemy is. It is not a mythic devil. It is the sequential path, also known as the one path, straight and narrow, and several other cozy one-way only terms. We all have spent millennia on the sequential variants. Now, with the simultaneous path and the awakening to the control issues of the sequentials, we are ready for graduation and further progress. The American government and its corporate sponsors are gathering data of everyone to evaluate conformity on all levels. This, by far, is not limited to America, but America is the only country that lies about freedoms as it does. They want to try and identify those who are pre-graduate incarnations, not the genuine nuts and bomb throwers. They know who they are and many are in government employ, but those who will not conform and seek their independent path, which is anything but the straight and narrow. This is a spirit ID matter and the sequentials behind it are very sharp, yet always a step behind the designated simultaneous pre-graduates. In pre-graduate worlds before Earth, they were always a step behind as well. This is by game design, otherwise no one would be able to graduate and all would remain locked in a sequential nightmare. Where and how what is known as Matrix V on Earth appears varies with each simultaneous planet. The game rules it must appear to provide the escape from the game for those who have earned it. It matters not what the mini-potentates do. They rule the body in it. The spirit in it have much better things to be concerned about, and that alone frightens them. Trust in your higher self.